The Bah Ghoulie Show is brought to you by OTR Halloween Holidays.
Friends, this is your host to welcome you through the creaking door into the Inner Sanctum for another gay half hour of mystery, mayhem, and, of course, murder. Well, friends, we don't have a very interesting studio audience tonight. Just the usual ghouls, ghosts, vampires, and werewolves. Of course, there is one fellow who came here without his head. He says he left it home because he didn't want to lose it. And then there's a girl named Myrtle who just asked me to autograph her death certificate. Yeah, just the same old bunch. But maybe next week we'll have somebody really unusual.
Tonight's Inner Sanctum mystery, Death Demon, was written by Milton Lewis and stars Miss Leslie Woods in the role of Regina with Mr. Everett Sloane as Howard.
All right, friends. Better turn the steam up and throw another leg on the fire. I mean log, Flipsy. Now remember, all scoundrels on this program are held up as horrible examples. Usually at the end of a row. Ready now. Then let's get grim. The sound of the sirens howled in his ears like the wail of an avenging demon as the man ran from the gaunt gray building behind the high wall. He ran with all his power and never faltered, even though he felt his heart would burst as he began to hear the dogs behind him picking up his trail. And then, as though he'd summoned it by magic, an automobile stopped for him. The driver, a woman, seeing him approach, saw blood streaming down his hand, saw him reach into his jacket, pull out a knife. The woman slipped out of the car, fled. The man got in, drove off. 4 hours later, the car stopped in the driveway of an isolated house on the outskirts of a New England town. The man got out. Slowly walked to the door. Rang the bell.
Yes, what do you... Oh.
Don't scream. And don't try to close that door.
But you can't come in here.
I've got to come in. Get away from the door.
No.
I said get away.
A knife.
Who's in this house?
Why, no one. No one but us. Let go of my hand. Let go, you're hurting me.
Sit down. Go on.
All right.
Who are you?
What do you want here?
I don't know.
I'll give you anything, only go away. Please, go away.
You didn't tell me who you are. Well?
I'm Regina Beaumont.
George Beaumont's wife?
Yes, do you know him?
Sit down.
All right.
You're a very beautiful woman. I didn't think George would marry a woman like you.
You do know him?
I know him.
Did you come to see him?
No. Does his sister still live here?
Yes.
Where is she?
Diana drove to town.
Why?
I don't know.
I think you do.
I don't.
Was it to see some man?
I don't know what Diana does. What do you want from me?
Perhaps I came here to kill you.
To kill me?
Who knows? I was told to come here.
What do you mean, told?
You wouldn't understand. Where is George?
I expect him late tonight.
You know who I am?
No.
Doesn't Diana ever speak of her husband?
Her husband? He was in some sanitarium. You're Howard?
Yes.
Diana's husband?
Yes. Didn't she ever tell you about me?
Well, only that you had some sort of breakdown.
Breakdown. Yes, I suppose that's how they would refer to it. But it wasn't a breakdown. It was something far stranger. They still don't believe me. They still don't understand.
Understand what?
That something's happened to me. They don't want to believe that such things could happen. That's why they had me locked away in the state prison for the criminally insane.
Criminally insane?
Didn't Diana tell you that's where I was?
She never told us where you were.
Did she tell you that I was considered a homicidal maniac?
No!
Ah, you're frightened. You think that's what I am, too, don't you?
Don't you! Put down that knife!
Don't you?
No, no!
No? Then why do you tremble? Why is your face so white?
That knife.
Oh, my knife, yes. If this knife so close to your throat right now, if this knife should drive its edge through that creamy white skin, I want you to know it's not I who am killing you. You think you can understand that? No, that there is someone who comes in the night from some ancient grave, someone who comes into my body, controls my hands, my limbs, my heart, my brain. I tried to fight him, but I can't. And it's he who wants to destroy and murder, and not I. I can't fight him alone anymore, and that's why I must see Diana. She'll help me. She always used to help me. What's that?
Your wife's car.
Diana.
Yes, I think so.
Stay where you are. Don't get up when she comes in. You'll do exactly as I tell you.
Yes.
I'm going to stand here on the other side of the door. Don't let her know I'm here.
I won't.
Quiet now.
Hello, Regina.
Hello, Diana.
I got back later than I thought. George home yet?
No, he's coming back on 11:30.
Did you spend the evening here all alone?
Not exactly.
Oh!
Don't run away.
That night?
Yes. Come here, Diana.
Howard.
Yes.
He came here like that and threatened me with that knife, Diana. He's going to kill us. He's going to kill both of us.
Be quiet, Regina. She's afraid of you, Howard.
Are you?
No. How did you get here?
I escaped.
But that blood.
From my hands. The top of the walls are covered with broken glass.
You came back to me.
Yes. Do you still love me?
Yes.
Even now?
Even now.
Come here.
Howard.
Are you going to plead for me to release you as she did?
You won't harm me, Howard.
Don't be too certain. Diana, I'm putting the point of this knife at your throat. Do you feel it? One twist of my wrist and it'll be over.
Do you want to kill me?
I don't know yet.
Why are you doing this?
I must know certain things.
What?
Will you help me? Be careful how you answer. I'm watching your eyes. If I see the shadow of a doubt, the quiver of a lie...
I'll help you.
They're after me. Will you hide me?
Yes, Howard.
The doctors have tried and failed. Only you can cure me. You'll have to live with me. You'll have to help me fight this thing inside of me that takes possession of me, that wants to kill, that may want to kill you. Will you risk that?
I will.
I love you, Diana. Will you kiss me?
Howard.
Here. Here's the knife. I'm tired. Very tired.
Yes, there's a room downstairs where you can lie down, but you can't stay long. They'll be looking for you. I'll have to find some place where we can go.
Yes. Find a place, Diana. I'll be all right now. I'll be all right as long as I can be with you.
Come, Howard. Come this way.
Yes, Diana.
Lie down. Over there.
Yes, I'm exhausted.
I'll be waiting outside for you when you wake up.
Oh, Diane. I thought he was going to kill both of us.
No. What are you doing with that phone, Regina?
I'm going to call the police.
No, you're not.
Why not? Diana, you couldn't have meant it when you told him you'd help him.
I meant every word of it.
But the man's a homicidal maniac.
Perhaps he isn't. Perhaps what he says is true.
You mean you're going to live with him?
I can't live without him. You know what it's been like with him away.
You're as mad as he is.
Perhaps. But he's back now. And nothing, Regina, understand me clearly, nothing is going to take him away.
Well, I'm not going to stay here with him.
Yes, you are, Regina. But you're going to stay here while I go to town. I think I know the place where I can hide him.
Oh, no, you're not going to get me in on him.
You do exactly as I tell you. Or I'm going to tell my brother a few things that I found out about you.
What are you talking about?
What do you think?
I haven't the faintest idea.
I'm talking about Tom Wilson, Roger Steele, and this present one, Richard Bowers.
Why, you...
I don't mind the slap, Regina. I want you to think of what my brother's money means to you. And what will happen to you if he ever finds out about you. Think carefully, Regina.
You're just like your brother. Sneaking around and spying. I could kill him. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry, Diana, dear. I'll help you. Of course I will, darling.
Yes. As I thought you would.
There's only one thing. I don't want to be here alone with him.
I'll take care of that right now. Locking my husband in his room. There's only one small high window, and he won't be able to get out, so you're perfectly safe. If George returns before I get back, I'd advise you to see to it that he doesn't call the police either.
Don't worry, darling. I can handle George.
Yes. Yes, you can.
Where's Howard's knife?
It's over there. Now, I better hurry.
Goodbye, Diana.
Hello, darling.
George. I thought you were catching the 11:30 home.
Well, I didn't have to take the train, dear. I ran into Dick Bowers in the city. He gave me a lift right to the door. Where's Diana?
He drove to town. Come on, sit down, darling. You must be very tired.
Oh, I am. I had quite a little chat with Bowers on the way up.
Did you?
Yes, he seems to admire you very much, Regina. Too much.
Oh. Well, then he should envy you because I'm all yours, George.
Regina. You're so beautiful. Come here, darling.
George.
Oh, Regina. What? Why'd you draw away from me?
I didn't.
I distinctly noticed you drew.
Oh, darling, darling. Let's not quarrel. Let me just put my arms around you. And we'll forget everything. Everything but you and I.
Regina, I'm sure. What's that?
Nothing.
Thought I heard something in the guest
Well,
room.
you didn't. You didn't hear a thing.
There it is again. Regina, do you have some... What? Regina. That knife. What are you doing? Regina, don't. No! My neck! Regina! What have you done? Oh! Regina. Call a doctor.
No.
It isn't too late. You'll never get away with it. I won't tell. I swear I won't tell.
Open the door.
Who's that?
No one who will be able to help you, George.
Let me out.
Help me! Whoever you are!
Don't bother, George. He can't hear you.
Let me out. Let me out of here.
Regina.
No use, George. He can't do a thing for you. He is helping me.
You.
Yes. He's Diana's husband. He's going to be blamed for your murder. It was his knife.
You'll never get away with this.
Oh, you never thought I was clever enough to work this out, did you? You and Diana are always so contemptuous of me. Well, we'll see who's the clever one now because you're going to die.
Regina. It won't work. I hope you're bright enough to see that. The only thing you can do to save your pretty little neck is to call a doctor before it's too late.
Why won't it work?
There's a terrible flaw in your whole sick little scheme, and you don't know it yet.
There is no flaw. What is it? What's wrong with my idea?
I won't tell you. It's too late now.
Where did I make a mistake? Where?
You never fooled me for a moment. I knew all about Wilson, Steele, Bauer.
No.
Yes. But I loved you. I knew what you were. But I loved you.
Tell me where I made my mistake, George. Where?
You're so lovely.
George! George!
Let me out of here! Let me out!
Will you keep quiet? I can't let you out. Stop that banging! Stop it! Who's there?
It's Diana. Why was the door bolted from the inside?
I didn't know it was.
Regina, I found a place for Howard to stay. We'll be safe for a while, and then we... George. George!
He's dead, Diana.
How did it happen?
I warned you, but you wouldn't listen to me.
Was it my husband?
Yes, of course. He killed him. Here's the knife.
Where's Howard?
In his room.
Oh. How did he get out?
Well, I don't know. All I know is that he was suddenly here and he killed him.
Did he, Regina? And how did you get him back into the room?
Why, I calmed him down.
Stop it.
And Stop it.
Your whole story's an impossible lie. You couldn't have let him out of the room. I have the key.
All right, I didn't.
You killed my brother.
Yes, I did. And what are you going to do? Call the police?
Yes.
Well, then you'll have to give up your husband. Now, listen to me, Diana. We can both get what we want out of this. I'll help you and Howard escape. I have money. You can travel, hide.
Hope we could have a few years together. I might even be able to cure him. But you wouldn't let us, Regina. You only saw in his return an opportunity to get your hands on my brother's money. No. I'm sorry, Regina.
Then you are going to call the police?
Yes.
You don't want my offer of help.
Think I would trust you.
Don't go to that phone, Diana.
Regina, that night?
Yes, I gave you a chance to live a moment ago, and you threw it away.
But you can't.
Why not? It will all work out perfectly. All I will have to do is let him out of his room, and I can take the keys from you.
I suppose you can. But he's dangerous, Regina. When you let him out of the room, you'll have to face him.
I'm not worried about that.
You're making a mistake.
I can take care of him.
Warning you, Regina, when he sees what happened.
I've planned everything. When you die, I will call the police. Just as I hear the sirens, I'll let him out. They'll catch him and shoot him like a dog.
Why are you telling me this?
I just wanted you to know. You're like George. You don't think that I'm smart enough to do this.
No. No, Regina, I don't think you are. You're only telling me this because you're not sure of your plan.
You've always despised me because I was prettier than you
Wait
are.
a minute. Regina, see, now do what you want. I'll go away with Howard.
Oh, Diana, you're too late. You think I'd trust you now?
Regina.
Don't scream.
Howard, Howard!
I've got my hand over your mouth, Diana. Don't try to scream.
Oh, my back. Oh. Howard. Howard.
Diana?
Diana! Where's Diana?
She isn't here.
Somebody let me out of here! I want to get out!
Stop it! You can't get out until she comes back.
Diana!
Be quiet! Be quiet. Hello, operator. Get me the police department quickly. Yes, hurry. It's an emergency. Hello, police. This is Mrs. Regina Beaumont on Holly Lane. There is a man here, a maniac. He murdered my husband and his sister. Will you hurry, please? Now, Howard, I'm going to open the door. I have something to tell you.
Where's my wife?
Just called in from town. She found out that they're looking for you. Listen, do you hear that?
The siren.
It's the police. You've got to get out of here.
But Diana.
She said to meet her at Hemlock Inn.
Where's my knife?
Here. Go out the back way and run for it. The police are almost here.
How do I get out?
That door.
You won't tell them?
Of course not, but hurry.
All right, goodbye.
Mrs. Barmouth?
Yes, he escaped, officer.
When?
A minute ago. He heard your sirens and ran. I think he went to Hemlock Inn. I heard him tell his wife that he was hiding there.
His wife. Is that what he did?
Yes, he murdered them both. He would have killed me if you hadn't come. If you'll hurry, you can still catch him on the road.
Was he armed?
Yes, he had a knife.
I'm afraid we may have to shoot. Goodbye, Mrs. Barmouth.
It worked perfectly. They'll find Howard and kill him. There will be no one to deny my story. No one, no one. Who's there?
Me. Yes.
How did you...
I came in the back way.
Help! Police! Help!
They can't
Help!
hear you. They can't hear you. They drove off looking for me. No, get away from that door.
Let go of me!
Get away, I said.
Oh!
The little scheme nearly worked. I would have been dead by now.
No. No, I didn't want anything to happen to you.
I hid in the shrubs. I heard what you told that policeman.
Is that how you found out?
No, I found blood on the knife, and then I looked in the window.
Oh, it isn't over yet.
Yes, it's over. Diana's dead. Why did you do it?
But don't you see, she was going to call the police and turn you over to them.
She was helping me. Why did you do it?
Put down that knife, Howard.
I just want to know why. What harm did we ever do you? We just wanted a little time with each other. She could have helped me so much. Now there's no one to help me. What made you do this?
Howard, listen, you must kill me. Look, we can both escape, you and I. Isn't that a good idea, Howard? You and I. If you don't kill me, Howard, isn't that a good idea?
What are you trying to tell me?
Oh, don't you see? It can be just as you wanted it, even better. I'll take Diana's place. I'll go with you anywhere. I'll do anything you say. Anything. I'll make you well, Howard. And I'm much prettier than Diana ever was. Oh, can't you see that, Howard?
No.
Put the knife down.
I know what he wants me to do now. Yes.
Don't. No, Howard, don't. Now, don't. Ah! Oh, you fool. We could have both gotten away with it. If you'd only listened to me.
Diana, we may be together soon. I hear the sirens. They're coming back to get me. He made me do it, Diana. You understand that? He forced me to. Oh, they're here, Diana. I'm going to let them in.
Forward. Drop that knife or I'll shoot.
There.
That's better. So you got her, too, huh?
I didn't kill her. He made me.
Who made you?
Someone. Someone who comes in the night. From some ancient grave. Someone who comes into my body, controls my hands, my limbs, my brain. And at last I know why he made me do it. He wanted me to kill someone who was evil. Evil. That's why he made me kill her. You see? You see?
Yeah. Hold your hands out.
There.
You won't do any more harm now. Come on.
No, one moment. Goodbye, Diana. Goodbye.
I guess I taught Regina a valuable lesson she'll be able to use next time she's alive. And next time a homicidal maniac comes calling, maybe she'll do what I do. Just close my eyes and disappear for a while. Which brings us to the moral of tonight's nightmare. Taken from the double talk of Gorham Gadula, Spanish bullfrog, who says, when you meet a murderer, don't stop dead. Why make it easy for him?
Inner Sanctum is heard each week in the United States over CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System, and has been rebroadcast for servicemen and women overseas through the facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.
Hope you're enjoying today's episode of the Bah Ghoulie Show, and don't forget to check out channel Watchwaddle for some fun cartoons. Enjoy some jokes with a big box of popcorn.
Corny corn popcorn fun for all folks, about as corny as Waddle's jokes.
Hill's Halloween headquarters has more for Halloween than just about any other store. Party decorations, fun wear, fun things. In fact, Hill's Halloween headquarters has everything. One of the biggest Halloween selections around. We also sell candy, so you won't be caught empty-handed.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome to the world of terrifying imagination. To the world of enchantment, spells, bewitchery. These are all words from our childhood. Pleasant memories of nursery stories before bedtime. The dark side of magic we knew nothing of. And when we grew old enough to learn, dismissed as ignorance and superstition. But once again in our times, incantation, exorcism, and the haunting belief in demonic possession are alive and abroad. They are what this strange tale is about.
I tell you, Doctor, it's the God's honest truth. They brought the young man in on the rolling stretcher to the emergency room, and he had this big sort of dent in his head. Oh, he didn't look like he was breathing at all. There was me, with me bucket and me pail, trying to clean up. Just me and the young man on the stretcher, and the old wino repeater we call PJ. They brought in earlier, snoring and dribbling. And that's when it happened. Came right out of old PJ's mouth and across the room and right up the young man's nose, like that. With a burny, cindery smell, like the old scissor grinder's stone wheel used to make. Oh, a great black cloud with red eyes in the middle. and a long forked tail. Oh, I'd take an oath of it on me mother's grave. It was the devil himself.
Our mystery drama, Possessed by the Devil, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Ian Martin and stars Donald Buca. It is sponsored in part by Contact, the 12-hour cold capsule, and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. I'll be back shortly with Act One. From the beginnings of history, it is there in some form. Possession. The incubus who ravishes maidens while asleep. The succubus who tempts man into seduction in his dreams. The Dybbuk, that lost soul who dies before his time and is compelled to wander in space till he can steal a body to live out his allotted years. Fact? Superstition? Hallucination? Here is such a modern legend. You be the judge.
Okay, Doctor, an IV set up for old Wally Wino here, glucose. So start it right away.
Yes, Dr. Daniels.
He don't look like he's long for this world.
He hasn't got a cell he hasn't drowned in alcohol. His liver is like a washboard. But I'm not sure I concur with your diagnosis, Mrs. Gideon. Still, I don't know this time. Oh, another emergency. And this is supposed to be the quiet hour.
Do you want me to get out for a while, Doctor? I'm near finished.
No, go ahead with your cleaning. Just don't get run over by the stretcher. Put him over here, boys. Now, what have you brought me this time?
Oh, you poor old souse. Dead to the world's the word for you, all right. You got me sympathy. With my arthritis, many's the time I've been tempted to have a go at the hard stuff myself. Oh, but thanks to sweet Mary, she's held me back. A little sacramental wine to ease me bones keeps me going. I had a few tonight, I can tell you. Oh, but there's always them breath sweeteners to take it away, I hope.
Well, how's your patient, Mrs. Gideon?
Oh, Doctor, I hope he's not a Catholic. The father might never make it in time. How's yours?
Oh, mine's out of my league. What I need is a brain surgeon. Huh. Speak of the devil, Considine just walked past the door. Dr. Considine. Dr. Considine, sir, I've got an emergency here.
Mother in heaven. And me here alone with two near corpses. I didn't see it. I couldn't have. Oh, but I did. I see it. Oh, the good saints preserve me.
Hey there, Mother. Well, where am I?
Oh, in the Mercy Hospital. Oh, you shouldn't be getting up.
Oh, ma'am, you're sure a different kind of nurse.
Oh, I'm no nurse. I'm the cleaning woman.
Oh.
And you hadn't ought to be sitting up? Not with that clout on the head someone's after giving you.
Huh? What clout on the head?
Why, that great big dent as big as a soap plate they brought you in with.
Oh, what are you talking about? I'm late for the operating room already.
Dr. Considine, he has a depressed skull fracture. I don't even know if he's still alive. Good Lord, what are you doing on your feet? Dr. Considine, will you help me get him back on the...
Hey, hold up. Wait a minute. Look, there's nothing wrong with me.
Mister, an ambulance just brought you in here with a skull fracture. You were out cold in deep shock.
But there's nothing wrong. There's nothing the matter with my head. Look.
Holy mother.
Excuse me, Mr. Mike. Michael Damon. Oh, well, I'm Dr. Considine, Chief of Neurological Surgery here at the hospital. Would you mind sitting down on this chair for a second and letting me check you out? Sure, Doc. Look, I've got to admit I don't remember how I got here to the hospital, so maybe you ought to have a look at me.
Mrs. Gideon, what's the matter with you? You look like you just saw a ghost.
It wasn't no ghost, sir.
Dr. Daniels, get over here.
Yes, sir.
Would you mind casting your eagle eye over the back of this young man's head and show me one scintilla of evidence of skull fracture or concussion?
Doctor, all I know is Jake Bronstein brought him in on the wagon and he had a decompressed area you could have laid your hand in.
That's right, sir. I saw it myself.
Someone here has been drinking. Daniels, look. If this is your idea of a joke, No, never mind. We'll discuss this later. Mr. Damon?
Yes, Doctor?
For your own protection as well as the hospital's, may I suggest that we take some x-rays of your head? Oh, nurse.
Yes?
You can let Dr. Daniels take over on the IV with the old man. And wheel Mr. Damon straight to x-ray. I want a full set of head plates.
Yes, Doctor.
Now, Mr. Damon, there are a couple of questions I'd like to ask you.
Excuse me, sir. Dad?
Mike, are you all right, son?
Oh, I feel fine, Dad, except for a headache. Oh, Dr. Considine, this is my father, Reverend Damon.
Oh, how do you do? Nurse, can we get going?
Yes, sir. Dad, what happened? How did I get here?
Well, perhaps you can explain, Reverend, as we walk along. I want to get to x-ray.
Well, I wish someone could explain to me what happened.
I can, sir.
Let me check the IV on old PJ. Wait a minute.
What is it, Doctor?
PJ here. He's bought it this time. Oh, this is not my night. We might have pulled him through. Oh, there's going to be the devil to pay around here.
Oh, you can say that again. It's the God's truth, Dr. Considine. Came right out of the old man's mouth and across the room and up the young man's nose like that. With a burning, cindery smell like the old scissor grinder's wheel used to make. A great black cloud with red eyes in the middle and a long forked tail. Oh, I've taken oath on me mother's grave. 'Twas the devil himself.
Yes, Mrs. Gideon. I think you can leave the medical discussion to us, and I'm sure you have important work waiting.
Oh, bless us. I left me pail and mop there. I hope nobody's been after stealing that mop. It had a brand new head on it.
Well, at least I know now where the smell of alcohol came from. I can't blame you for that, Daniels. But I just can't accept it. In an emergency room, you concentrate on a seemingly healthy patient while you lose a really sick old man.
PJ was a repeater, Doc. He's long overdue for uremic poisoning or cardiac arrest. But this young guy, Damon...
Well, complete your sentence.
I was just thinking... That magnificent body, physically way above par, and the injury I thought I saw, well, would have left him a vegetable for the rest of a long life if we'd pulled him through.
What injury?
That depressed fracture. Most of the brain should have been injured beyond repair.
You say what you thought you saw. Apparently you didn't see anything.
You heard Mrs. Gideon back me up, Doctor.
Come in.
Oh, it's the wet plates, Doctor, from X-ray.
Light up the viewing fields, Daniels, and let's have a good look. Satisfied?
Well, sir...
Oh, somebody gave him a knock on the head, all right. There's some exterior evidence of that, but of any fracture?
None I can see.
Well, you're the doctor of record. Shall we send him home?
I see no reason not to.
Okay. Now I'd better get up to OR. Coming! Trudy!
Well, don't look so disappointed, Rod.
Come in. Say, sweetheart, what are you doing here at this hour?
Oh, I couldn't sleep after your call, so I drove over. Is Mike back from the hospital?
No, I thought the bell was Dad and Mike. They're on the way home right now.
How come you didn't go to the hospital?
Oh, we've been trying to get in touch with Anton Azarak.
Oh?
So Dad thought one of us should be here in case he called back.
Oh.
I mean, to find out what happened. Yeah. All right, and cool it.
Oh, what a name for a cat.
Why, I see nothing wrong with it. I think a martyr belongs in a minister's family.
Oh, is that my fate as your wife to be?
Of course not. We just called her that because Mike and she never seem to get along.
Well, it's hard to figure about the cat. Mike is such a kind, gentle sort of giant. I thought all animals loved him.
Well, it depends what the word includes. Oh, wait a minute. There's a car now. The return of the prodigal son. Now maybe we'll find out just what happened last night.
And that's honestly all I can tell any of you.
You were making a fresh fire in the fireplace at 5:30 in the morning and straightened up too fast and knocked yourself cold on the underside of the mantelpiece?
Well, what other explanation is there, Rod?
Well, it is solid oak.
And that big, round, ornamental sphere is a menace. I've regretted it every time I've bumped my own head on it.
Yeah, but, Dad, you never hit your head hard enough to knock yourself cold.
Mike, why were you making a fire at that time in the morning?
Well, I wasn't actually making one. I was replacing one. Professor Azarek was with me last night, coaching me for an exam I have coming up, and, well, he got cold.
Oh, come on. It wasn't cold enough for a fire last night.
Well, maybe when you went to bed, but we were up all night. And the professor's a pretty old man.
What were you doing up at that hour in the morning, Dad?
I really don't know. Something woke me, and I...
Are you all right, Reverend Jace?
Excuse me, Trudy, dear. Yes, I'm fine. I'm just recalling that moment this morning. How vivid it was. I was startled out of the depths of my sleep to wide awakeness. I had a vision of Mike surrounded by flames. It was so real, I even said a little prayer. Then I hopped out of bed, went to the window. It wasn't very dark anymore. And looking across, I could see that all the studio lights were on and the front door open. Well, I thought I'd better go and have a look.
And when you got there, you found Mike on the floor unconscious?
Yes. Lying on his face, white as a sheet, and deathly cold.
Oh.
Yeah, but what made you call the hospital? It's not like you to panic.
Well, I realized that, but the back of his head looked as though he'd been felled by some superhuman mailed fist. It was all bent inward.
I thought the hospital said Mike was all right.
Oh, I am, Trudy. A clean bill of health. Nothing to worry about.
My fault. Must have been an illusion, of course.
Well, I think if the Inquisition is over, I'm going to make up on some sleep. Oh, that damn cat! I've forgotten about her. Will you keep her in there away from me?
What's the matter with her?
Been a very strange night and morning, and I have a hauntingly uneasy feeling.
You mean about Mike?
About Mike. I hope the hospital was right to give him a clean bill of health. He doesn't seem himself at all. Not at all.
Hello. Azarek? Michael. What the hell happened last night? Okay, not on the phone. I'm going to rest now. But you be sure to be here tonight. So far in our modern legend, we have caught up with superstition, witches, magic, both black and white, enchantment, spells, abracadabra. Well, there are 2 more acts to come. I'll be back very shortly with Act 2. A young man in hospital with a depressed fracture of the skull, which should have mangled his brain. A chronic drunken repeater back in emergency on the edge of fatal acute alcoholism. And an aging cleaning woman who thought she saw a malign spirit pass from the drunk to the young man. Now, apparently in full health, we'll be able to appraise just how healthy the young man who made his remarkable recovery is. You're right there. Professor Azarek, please come in.
Must you be so formal?
After last night and today, I'm taking no chances. Maybe with your superior intelligence, you have no worries about our abortive attempt at Satanism. But I have. Look, I was the victim, and since a crack on the head denied me any knowledge of what happened, I'm only hoping you can give me the straight goods.
The straight goods. A peculiarly inept term for what we are engaged in, my brother in Satan.
Damn it, it's not a deal in semantics, Hanson. Now, what happened after I summoned up the fiend? I mean, how did you escape, and how could I have been harmed? As long as I was safe in the magic triangle within the circle.
I warned you to keep your feet still. If you touch any part of the circle itself or the triangle within it, you are at the mercy of all the devils in hell.
And if I'd known what I was getting into when I picked your philosophy course, I'd have quit.
You made the mistake of not realizing how vulnerable your soul was is the son of a minister.
All right. I'm not crying over what happened. I just want to know what it was. Now, where was I?
By the fireplace, lying prostrate. The way you fell after he hit you.
Who hit me?
The devil you summoned.
But where did he appear?
Outside the circle here.
The inner or the outer?
Beyond the outer, of course. There was water scattered between the circles, and the wolfsbane scattered through it. And within the circle you had the brazier burning.
Everything as you ordered it and arranged it.
Yes, but...
But? What went wrong?
Your ego.
My ego? What does that mean?
You lost your head. Or at least almost did. This was a simple experiment by someone who seemed a true psychic to raise a minor antichrist. The motive was strong enough to create belief, or at least the hope of belief. You wanted a familiar to procure your brother's woman for you. Veshal, you were to call forth. Why did you call on Ashtaroth, a giantess beyond your control?
I don't know. Look, do I have to explain?
No. Ever since you became my disciple, you told me that you have lusted after the woman your brother brought home as his bride.
The only thing I've never been able to take from Rod whenever I wanted.
When you finished the incantation and summoned Ashtaroth, I thought the house would come down about our ears. The earth rocked like the San Francisco quake. And suddenly she stood without the circle, a huge figure in chainmail and medieval armor. Meddler and slave, she said, how dare you summon me for your petty desires? Learn this lesson once, if not for all. Turn your face from me in shame. And as you turned, she reached out with her mailed glove and struck you on the top and back of your head. You dropped like a stone.
Across the magic circles?
They weren't designed for major devils.
You swore no presence could cross them.
Nothing but her arm and her fist.
Well, it's 5 feet from that outer circle to the center of the triangle where I was standing.
I told you the circle was for lesser demons.
What happened after she struck me?
The spirit disappeared. The room was clogged with smoke. I opened the door to let it out and came back to you. You had fallen almost into the fireplace. I pulled the rug back, arranged the furniture as best I could, and fled. I thought you were dead.
Oh, I'm alive.
Yes, but it's not possible. When I left you just before sunrise, you were dead.
What witchcraft can do, it can undo. Whoever and whatever I am, I'm alive. Make no mistake about that. Goodbye, Anton. I don't need you anymore. Oh, hi, Trudy. I thought you'd gone with Rod and Dad.
Hello, Mike. I thought you were over in the studio.
We ran out of beer.
Ah, you're out of luck. Rod's bringing some home.
Well, I found something more refreshing.
What?
You.
Well, if you'd waited just a little longer, you'd have found me anyway. I was going to wander over to the studio and visit you.
Oh, so that's why you stayed home, hmm?
Oh, don't be silly. Someone had to wash the dishes. As long as I'm house guest, I thought I ought to do something for my keep.
Well, you're staying here tonight?
1 whole week. Mom went up with Pops to his 35th class reunion. And they figured that with one full-fledged minister and a recent hospital dropout, I was suitably chaperoned.
Safe as a church, huh? Now, Rod and Dad say when they'd be back?
Well, not till pretty late, I guess.
Mm.
Pretty rough section of town. That's why Rod insisted on going along.
What's the occasion?
That's one of your father's oldest parishioners. I guess the old lady is dying. She asked for the minister.
Well, her loss, my gain.
What?
Oh, nothing. It's just a stupid joke. You said you wanted to see the studio?
Oh, yes. Would you mind?
Mind? Look, I'm out of beer, but I've got some champagne that's begging to be what it is.
Oh, what is it?
A split. Just right for sharing. Shall we go? Well,
don't you walk into my parlor, said Beelzebub to the flies.
Oh, now, what's that supposed to mean?
That is the advantage of a classical education.
Aha.
Beelzebub, god of the Philistine city of Ekron. You know, he was known as the Lord of the Flies.
Why?
Well, now, there you've got me.
Oh, he sounds horrid.
Well, he wasn't very popular with Christians. In fact, they called him the Prince of Devils.
Lord of the Flies.
Mhm.
Ooh, that gives me the creeps.
Here's something to chase your creeps away.
Oh, I don't want that, Mike. It goes right to my head.
Oh, just a sip. A good luck toast to sister and brother-in-law Hood. Our getting to know you party.
Well, far be it from me to be a party pooper. Oh, there's nothing more cozy and reassuring than a room full of books. What's this section here?
Oh, that? That's the main reason I needed Dad's particular library since my exam was in metaphysics.
The Black Arts, The World of Witches, Essentials of Demonology, The Satanic Mass. Oh, it's a strange collection for a minister.
And it's always good to know your enemy. You know, Dad's quite an authority on the devil and his work.
And you? Are you thinking of becoming a minister, Mike?
Me? No. Perish the thought. No, my philosophy is too easy for that. I long ago decided that if you can't fight 'em, join 'em. Can't you see how evil I am? Tempting you with spirituous beverages, coaxing you here to my lair, and now, having anesthetized my prey, making ready to spring.
I don't think you're being very funny, Mike. Oh, is this where you hit your head?
Oh, yes, so they say. No, I wasn't being altogether funny.
What do you mean?
Trudy, have you any idea how jealous I am of my older brother?
Of Rod? Why?
A month ago, or whenever it was, they turned up with you. My first thought was, why couldn't I find something like that?
That's very flattering, Mike. But you're a little young for the big step.
Not so young as you think. Perhaps. I don't care what you and Rod have been to each other. It was me you wanted. Still want. Only you're afraid of breaking your word.
This is a joke.
It's no joke.
Mike, let go of me.
You wanted me from the moment you laid eyes on me, just as I have you.
Oh, you've been reading too many naughty books.
Don't laugh. There's nothing funny about this.
No, not really. Offensive.
You're afraid of me.
Don't be silly.
Afraid of yourself.
Now that really is the last straw.
Test it. Fasten your mouth to mine. Wind yourself about me. Try forbidden love, and it will never let you go.
No, Mike, let me go. You're hurting me. Oh, that's Rod home with your father. If you won't let me go, I'll scream.
What are you going to tell them?
Nothing. I wouldn't want them to know what a pig you are. I think that blow on the head must have done more damage than you think. Mike, you better see a psychiatrist. Hi, Rod. Dad. Well, we didn't expect you.
Esther. By Lucifer. I'll have you yet. Cowering at my feet like a slave. To use you once and destroy you. As I shall use your surrogate tonight. For whether she may be.
Oh, dear. How bestial.
What, Reverend Damon?
Just something that happened to a girl on the other side of town.
Let me see. Rachel. Awful.
Well, now you got me going. You too, John? Well, since you can't read, I'll read it to you. The body of Elizabeth Migler, 21, was discovered in Marsden Park today by a passerby. Although it was later determined the girl had been raped, the strange features of the case are that she was not robbed, and as though by some ferocious animal, tooth marks showed that her throat had been literally ripped to pieces. Good Lord.
Where is Marsden Park?
Clear over the other side of town.
When did it happen?
Night before last. Morning, all. I hope breakfast is all ready. I'm famished. What's wrong with that cat? Oh, it's beginning to bug me.
A lot of things are beginning to bug me.
What'd you say, honey?
Nothing, Rod. I don't think I'll have any breakfast this morning. I don't feel like eating. No, Rod, please, don't come with me. I'd rather be alone.
Lovers' quarrel?
Look, will you just fake out, brother mine? It's none of your business.
For Trudy's sake, for everyone's sake, would that it were. But unfortunately, we know better. Or do we? The crime happened miles away, and the devil that may possess Mike is there only on the evidence of a tipsy charwoman. Who summons the devil never calls for him in vain, and once met, few are lucky to get rid of him again. I'll return shortly with Act 3. In the kitchen of the Damon house, Rod glares angrily at his brother, who shrugs it off and goes to the refrigerator for orange juice. A troubled Reverend Damon eyes both his sons as he closes and folds the tabloid in his hands, as if it were just as unclean as it is. Rod, unchallenged by Mike, breaks the silence first.
I better go on upstairs and check on Trudy.
Well, she said she wanted to be alone.
Look, will you stay out of this?
I'm not even in it. Just an objective comment.
So keep it to yourself.
Now, come on, Rod. I didn't mean to butt in. Catch me up. What's all the hostility about?
No hostility. Just a reaction to a peculiarly unpleasant crime. I think I'll go up and apologize to Trudy for spoiling everyone's breakfast.
That's a good idea, Dad.
If I can leave you two alone.
Well, I have no quarrel with anyone.
Now, forget it, Dad. I just got upset over Trudy. I shouldn't have jumped on Mike.
Now then, let me see if I can make our future in-law a little happier in our house.
What happened, Rod?
Oh, it all started over this tabloid story about some poor kid who got raped and mangled in Marsden Park.
Oh?
Here, read all about it.
Kind of gruesome, all right. But there's one of these every day.
Yeah, but not in such gory detail. It really got to Trudy. You know, I've never seen her upset like that. I mean, so subjectively involved.
Oh? What do you suppose triggered that?
Oh, I don't know. I just sure wish I did.
Or maybe it's better to let sleeping dogs lie.
Who is it?
Your future father-in-law. May I come in for a minute?
Just a sec. The door's locked. Come on in, Reverend Damon.
Feeling any better?
Oh, not really.
Oh, I should be ashamed of myself reading that yellow sheet. I like to think it helps keep my sense of balance, but maybe I'm just a seeker of vicarious excitement.
Like that rather complete collection on Satanism and the occult that you have in your studio?
Ah, you noticed that, did you?
Night before last, when I was over there with Mike while you and Rod had gone to see your old parishioner who was dying. Did she?
As a matter of fact, no. She made a remarkable recovery.
Oh, really? Well, you looked so sort of worried when you came home. I thought
I was worried about you, Trudy. And Mike.
Why?
You, because I knew you were upset about something. Well, you can't be a minister for over 40 years without learning to read something about people.
And Mike?
Mike is an enigma to me since I brought him back from the hospital. A rather terrifying thought to realize I've lost contact with my own son. I'd like to ask your help, Trudy, and I'll lay it right on the line. Why were you at the studio with him? And what happened there?
You won't tell Rod?
Not if you don't want me to.
Then what I'd like more than anything is to tell someone, most of all you. For Mike's sake. Because I think he needs help. And you're the only one who could bring it to him. Or make him go find it.
Well, Reverend Damon, this is a pleasure. I'm on my way to a class. Can we talk as we cross campus?
Yes. Just, what is the name of your course that Mike is taking?
Philosophy. Perhaps more specifically, metaphysics. Rather freewheeling. I mean, it's advanced, and we spend more time on the perimeters than we do on the core subjects.
Just what were you and Mike up to that long night before his injury?
I was coaching him for an examination.
An examination in what? On what subject?
By the class I teach, general philosophy.
And you left before Michael was hurt?
Oh, good Lord, yes. Would I have left the boy if he were injured?
Would you have fled the scene unless you were up to something dark and vile enough to stain your reputation?
I am sorry your boy was hurt. I had no part in it. And I resent your holier-than-thou accusations. If you'll excuse me, I have a class waiting for me.
And now for the rug. There. That does it. Oh, my dear Lord. Just what I was afraid of.
What are you afraid of, Dad?
You, Mike. That you turned away from God to seek the devil. Why, Mike? Why?
Who knows? Now, what shall I tell you? That life's a drag. It has no purpose, no goals, no triumphs that aren't tarnished. That there's no good in man. Nothing but pettiness and meanness and me first and the devil take the hindmost.
That's not what I brought you up to believe.
No one blames you, Dad. That Trudy was the last straw. That Rod could find the woman he wanted, and she could turn out to be the one that I need. So I chose his worship. And here we built my altar.
Don't desecrate that name. The altar belongs to God.
This altar belongs to Satan. See the circle traced in vermilion paint? Exactly 9 feet wide, an 8-foot charcoal one within. Light the votive candles, burn the incense, let the mass begin.
Mike, what are you doing? I won't tolerate this sacrilege.
You can no more move than the woman I desire can resist my power. I am the way. I am the darkness. I am the truth. Lord of the universe, whom the winds fear. I am he whose mouth ever flameth. You answer me. Thee I invoke, the boneless one that did create the darkness and the light. Thee I command to serve me and send me the woman I desire. Trudy, don't come in here.
But the rain.
What's going on here? Rod, it's your brother. He's gone mad. Spawn of the outer world. Stay back. Stay back. Or I will smite thee dead where thou standest. Leave except the woman who is mine.
What's going on?
Look out. He's going for Trudy.
Now, look, Nature.
Oh, he has a knife.
Would you murder your own brother?
Okay,
so
now pulling around.
But you know I could always take you.
Oh, Rod, I hope you haven't hurt him too much.
Oh, don't worry, baby. He always had a glass jaw.
He had something more perishable than that. Call the hospital. And better tell them to bring a straitjacket.
The top of the night to you, Mrs. Gideon. And what's that wee bottle in the paper bag? A little poteen?
Nothing of the sort, Dr. Smart-Attic. It's a noggin of holy water blessed by me own Monsignor, which I carry with me when I come near this place ever since 3 days ago. What happened to old P.J.? Did anyone ever turn up to claim him?
Nope. Oh, by the way, while we're on the gossip column, guess who's back in the hospital?
Oh, not the other one.
Mm-hmm, the same. Lying in the emergency room under a deep sedation in a straitjacket.
Oh, what did they bring him back here for?
That's what Dr. Considine and his father, the Reverend Damon, are discussing now in the prep room. Well, if you're going to swab out the emergency, you'd better get at it fast.
Well, I'll tell you something, Doctor. If I'm to be there and alone with that devil, you'll never see emergency this clean again. For I'm adding the Monsignor's holy water to me pail right now, just in case.
Of course, we'll run every neurological test in the book on him under the circumstances, Reverend Avon.
I'm not sure it will do any good. I'm afraid the trouble is psychiatric.
Well, it has to be one or the other unless we're to accept Mrs. Gideon's diagnosis of possession.
Mrs. Gideon? Oh, I remember now. She was one of the people, like the intern, who remembered that they thought they saw considerable skull compression.
Which never existed, believe me. Just an illusion like Mrs. Gideon's.
What was Mrs. Gideon's illusion?
Well, I'm afraid she'd had a drink or two, and she had some wild story about a black devil streaming out of an old dipsomaniac who was also in the emergency room and being sucked up through your son's nostrils. I'm really even embarrassed to mention such nonsense. Come in.
Excuse me, Dr. Considine, but the patient is coming too.
Mr. Damon?
Yes, sir. He's still in the straitjacket.
I think, Reverend, if you don't mind, until we see what state he's in.
I don't mind. You might as well both know that the police are by now well aware that my son was responsible for the violent death of a young woman the night before last while under the possession of whatever devils or devil owns him. Shall we go?
My Nergal and Tammuz and Belphegor, no one can hem me in. I am Belial, Lord of the Flies, and your bonds cannot hold me.
Good Lord, he's out of the straitjacket. I'll get help.
What's going on here, Mrs. Gideon?
Oh, the Lord preserve us. It's the devil incarnate. Oh, stay away from him, Doctor. He'll burn you to a crisp with his fiery
All
breath.
of you, stay away from him. Leave him to me. Michael, my son.
Call me not by that filthy angel's name. Stay away, old man, for I carry death in my hand as a sword.
Michael!
I warned you.
Oh, you admit it's a man of the cloth. Get back! Get back!
What happened?
Oh, sure it was the Monsignor's holy water. It's as strong as life.
Michael, no.
All right, boys.
All right, Daniels, you're too late.
What?
Excuse me, Reverend. Let me see. Daniels, come here.
Yes, sir?
Was that the depression you were talking about when this man was first brought in?
Yes, sir. That's what I thought I saw.
Well, at least it's what we all see now.
But how?
I haven't any answers. I only know... I'm sorry, Reverend Damon, but your son is dead.
He hasn't been my son since his first visit here. The mercy of God is that whatever possessed him died with him. Thanks to this lady here.
Oh, if I hadn't had the holy water, the Lord does move in mysterious ways. Don't he, Reverend Sir?
In mysterious ways and kind ones. What a field day the Reverend Damon's tabloids might have had if Michael had ever come to trial for the death of that poor innocent girl. Innocent. Perhaps that's the theme of this dark history. If Michael had been less innocent, and had had the guts to be less self-interested and bored, how different his world might have been. But that's the answer, isn't it? We all make our own world. We can't rely on anyone else to make it for us. I'll be back shortly. I suppose I should resist the impulse, but I have to admit I can't. It's one of the rewards for being host, particularly with guests who can't answer back, at least directly. So just for once, a homily. Reach out and find life. Take it and make the most of it. For if nothing else, our story proves to the hilt the oldest of adages. If you don't, the devil finds work for idle hands to do. Our cast included Donald Buca, Joan Shea, Ian Martin, Guy Sorrell, and Leon Janney. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown.
Now, a preview of our next tale.
No trouble, though.
He went numb pretty fast.
I thought he would.
He wanted me to give you a message, but then he couldn't remember what it was. And he thinks you're some kind of a warden.
Poor man.
You know, Mr. Z, I didn't much like it inside that room.
You knew you were coming out.
Who ever dreamed up the black room, anyway?
I've no idea.
Somebody must have.
There's always been a black room, far as I know.
Hell of a place.
Yes.
How long will he last, do you think?
Matter of days. Weeks, possibly.
Then what?
He'll go mad. Or die.
Wonder what he's doing now.
Oh, counting by twos, then by threes, then by fours. Anything to keep from thinking. That's what they all do.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
Thanks for watching the Bah Ghoulie Show by OTR Halloween Holidays. This is Waddle the Duck saying check out channel Watchwaddle for some fun cartoons with no static.
Huh?